In this video, we're going to show you once you installed the Anaconda, the navigator is going to show like this. So you're going to see that all the applications are on the first screen, and the applications like Jupyter Notebook and Spider. Again, Spider is the same thing as like a PyCharm. It's IDE environment. Some people like that. Some people like this. So it's really a personal preference. And R is right here too, which is for data analysis. And so what we're going to do later is just to simply just launch those applications. Then you have the application. Again, Anaconda is a collection of packages and environments. And speaking of environments, we do have it right here under the left side menu. You click that, it's going to show what the environment you have installed it. And then in the future, if we want to install some new environment, you can simply just search not installed and then find the environment, and then you can install. And we also have some learning community. For example, I will see for beginners, Python tutorial will be a great start to actually learn it. So in this one, it actually shows you almost everything for the first half of a semester we're going to do. So you will see that it has everything. So how do you use the interpreter? How do you invoke? What's the numbers? For example, for Python, we have those numbers. We have different numbers, right? Integer, float, and different numbers, and how they works. And also have the string. How do we print the string? How do we put some text, special characters, and all of them are right here. And this is can be treated as your textbook, and you don't have to buy expensive textbook which will be changing like in 1 or 2 years. This is going to be your user manual or user reference all the time. And so this is the while loop, and then we have if then, and all of those can be found right here. If you want to do a self-paced study, if you want to do like a quick start, you can start from here. This is the tutorial. And again, as we mentioned, Anaconda is actually a community. It has all kinds of references, has all the tutorial. There are others like for R, for Jupyter, and almost everything that has the tutorial. And we also have the community. If you are interested about data science, there are a bunch of community you can join. And so this is the environment. So let's first take a look at the notebook. So what you're going to find is the Jupyter notebook. This is the one that we're going to use. So please click launch. You're going to see the very first Jupyter notebook. So once you launch the Jupyter notebook, the very first thing you're going to see, it is actually the folder, the default folder normally is under your home user folder. So I actually go ahead and create a new folder. So in the future, all my code is actually under the Python. The reason I put a 0 is there is because I want my folder will be the very first one on the menu. So what you can do is you can actually create another one. You can create another folder. Let's say I'm just creating another folder, and this folder, we just clicked it. It's actually down here. It's called untitled folder. So it's just seconds ago. So what we created. So you can actually, if you want to change the name, you have to select it and then go to the top, and then you can click the button rename. So for example, rename, I'm going to put it as one Python. So in that way, or Python learning. So I want to keep it short. So I just put a one Python and then click rename. So my one Python folder will be on the top list. So I can click this and then I can create the very first Python on Jupyter. So like I can click Python 3. So it will actually give me the very first Python file. And here I can type something called, for example, print hello world, right? I can type hello world. And then this is actually a statement that, as we mentioned in last class, this is a statement. And the print itself, it's actually called a command. And then hello world is a string. It's one of the values. So when we click run, you're gonna see the output. Here is the output. It's called the hello world. And now I can save my first the file as hello world, right? And then once I click rename it, it's gonna give me this file right here. And the same thing, I can do many others, like 1 plus 3, which will be 4, right? And then I click run, it's gonna give me the output will be actually 4. And here you notice that I have in and out, and this 1 and 2 means the sequence of the execution of the command. So this is the first statement we run. The order of the execution is 1. The order of this execution is number 2. And then we can do all the rest, right? All the others. So we can also type some comments. Again, we're going to cover that. So we tap the pound, then we tap 1 plus 2, for example. Then when it click run, it's not going to give us anything because this is actually a comment. So it does not. It's a comment, so we don't see anything. The comment is meaning only for the programmers, reminder the programmer what's going on. And this is there are a bunch of shortcut keys. If you like, you can actually see the keyboard shortcuts. It will help you to speed up the notebook editing. And like the most common used one for me is actually, for example, I'm just typing something I equals 0, and then I can display what's my i's value. Then here's actually same thing as print I, right? So I just want to inspect the variable i's value. Then I press Alt and Enter key on the keyboard at the same time, Alt and key and Enter key, Alt Enter. So this will execute the command I is 0, and meanwhile it's create a new line. So if I just want to, let's say 9 minus 8, I want to calculate what's the expression's value, 9 minus 8. I don't want to create a new 9. I can simply just strike Control and Enter key. Control and Enter key. You see the new 9 is not created. Same thing, if I just want to add a new line, you can simply use those menus too. You can insert a new line below. You can insert multiple of them. Suppose I want to change this to a text mode. You press ESC and M, so that will be in here. You actually insert a text mode, ESC edit mode, It should be somewhere here. Let's just enter a ESC and M, ESC M. That actually give you a text mode. Maybe it's down here. Insert cell, run cell, shift enter, cell type. Yeah, markdown. Cell markdown. So we just changed this cell to markdown. So if I click this one, you're going to see this one from the code mode to a markdown, which means it becomes a text mode. So we can enter something. Let's say I can enter heading 1, and then heading 2, and then heading 3. So those are just some example. This is like a list. So I list 1. Let's say I put another one. List 2. Actually, list 2. And then I can run, and you will notice that this becomes a nicely formatted documents or paragraph. So those are the lists, right? And those are headings. So this whole section becomes a markup language, and all those are the coding ones. So in the future, we're gonna see this very often, and so this is just the beginning, and in the future you're gonna see me doing this very often, and you're gonna follow me to do all of those operations. So this is as a brief introduction of notebooks.